Welcome to Noir Alley, and this week's lesson in deceit and despair. I'm Eddie Muller, and if you ask me to paint the perfect portrait of noir, I'd probably create a picture, in black and white of course, of a lost and lonely man on a rain-slicked street beneath a single glowing streetlight. Beside him, naturally, would be a woman, gorgeous, mysterious, seemingly unattainable. A sense of dread infects the whole scene. Something or someone is lurking in the shadows. That pretty much sets the tone for today's film, 1945's Scarlet Street, an essential entry on anyone's list of the great noir films. For me, it's the best movie director Fritz Lang made during his Hollywood career, which began after he fled the clutches of the Nazis in 1935 and ended with his return to Europe in 1957. Working in Hollywood was never easy for Lang, whose visionary early films had convinced him that he was the most important filmmaker in the world. Hollywood studio bosses, however, quickly cut him down to size. But with Scarlet Street, Lang was working outside the studios. He'd formed an independent production company with producer Walter Wanger, Wanger's wife, actress Joan Bennett, and screenwriter Dudley Nichols. This quartet believed they could make smart, challenging pictures while avoiding the meddling of studio execs. And Scarlet Street would be the proof. For a director who was notorious for often being cruel to actresses, and women in general, Lang had two important female collaborators in his career. His rise in the ranks of great filmmakers would have been impossible without Thea von Harbou, who wrote most of his German movies, including Metropolis, M, and the Dr. Mabuse films. Once in America, separated from von Harbou, Lang found himself constantly at odds with bosses who couldn't tolerate his arrogance or his exuberance at spending their money. His biggest successes came when he teamed up with Joan Bennett for Manhunt and The Woman in the Window, popular hits that rejuvenated the careers of both the actress and the director. Now, Lang may have been snide in private about Bennett's acting skills, but once they were business partners, he treated her and her husband's money with all due respect. Dudley Nichols' script for Scarlet Street is based on the 1929 novel La Chienne, literally translated as The Bitch, by popular French novelist Georges de la Fauchadière. The book had already been adapted in 1931 by another world-class film director, Jean Renoir. Now, oddly, Scarlet Street is also a virtual remake with one crucial difference of Lang's 1944 film, The Woman in the Window, which also starred Bennett, Edward G. Robinson, and Dan Duryea. The director didn't like the studio-mandated ending of that film, which he felt was a cop-out. So for the maiden effort of Diana Productions, he reassembled the cast of The Woman in the Window and made the film he wanted without interference. Woman in the Window and Scarlet Street also represented a new direction in the career of leading man Edward G. Robinson. The public had gone crazy for him in the 1930s when Robinson became a big star playing snarling gangsters like Rico Bandello in Little Caesar. But all that changed in the 1940s when, simultaneous with the rise of film noir, Robinson was more often cast as a meek, middle-aged man trapped in a dire situation. His portrayal of Christopher Cross, the amateur painter at the heart of this tragic passion play, is one of the high points of the actor's career. As Hollywood's foremost collector of original art, it was obviously a role that Robinson relished. Noir Alley is proud to present one of the all-time great films noir from 1945. Here is Scarlet Street.